This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by Curaleaf, one of the leading vertically integrated cannabis operators in the U.S., now with a total of 35 dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 10 processing facilities operating in 12 states. Curaleaf is super excited about the new year ahead as they continue to expand and perfect their brick-and-mortar operations, in addition to their different product lines. From their popular in-house Curaleaf brand sold in their various medical marijuana dispensaries, as well as Curaleaf Hemp, made using hemp-derived CBD, and their Yuku Craft Cannabis line of products. Curaleaf started off 2018 with just a few dispensaries and grew to their current count of more than 30 in just a year's time. That's an exciting stat. Learn more about Curaleaf, including the location of the closest Curaleaf shop to you, over at their website, curaleaf.com, with Curaleaf spelled C-U-R-A-L-E-A-F. Curaleaf.com. Thanks to all the good folks at Curaleaf for the support that makes our news possible. Here's to a stellar 2019. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 635 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. News hound Tom Angel over at Marijuana Moment grabs our first top story of this new year with a pickup of a speech given yesterday by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who took the occasion of his third gubernatorial swearing in to pledge to legalize adult use cannabis, stressing the importance of not only new economic development for the state, but also the criminal justice angle on enacting more new liberal and progressive cannabis policies. This speech follows in a long string of pro-marijuana comments and actions out of the governor's office, so 2019 should prove to be a big one for New York State legal cannabis. Pop over to Tom's story on Marijuana Moment for more on this one, including video of the governor's actual speech. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. We jump out to Oregon for today's second top headline, to a story that needs a little bit of disclosure as it concerns one of the regulars of our weekly podcast, Marijuana Today. According to a piece in the Statesman Journal, a proposed bill to allow for the export of legal marijuana to other states could be in the works for the Oregon State Senate. The bill would be similar to one that was put forth back in 2017 and is being supported by my friend Adam Smith, a regular on Marijuana Today and executive director of the Craft Cannabis Alliance, a group dedicated to advocating for and advancing the cause of Oregon marijuana. Adam is pitching out-of-state export as a solution to both Oregon's current supply glut, as well as the problems other legal cannabis states have had with procuring enough quality legal products. There are still federal issues to consider here, as interstate commerce of cannabis is not exactly legal yet, but with things moving as quickly as they are in this world, it's probably a good idea for some state to jump on the ball of figuring out export. Not a bad story to also read today. Marijuana Moment grabs a top headline bookend today, this time with Kyle Yeager reporting on new statistics released just on Monday by U.S. Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, showing a drop in the number of federal prosecutions for marijuana-related charges. In Chief Justice Roberts' end-of-the-year report, he notes that while marijuana charges dropped 19%, overall drug crimes jumped up to claim a shockingly high 28% of all federal charges. Looking specifically at marijuana, though, it's nice to see that reduction, which you'd expect with California going full-blown legal in 2018 and the overall steady advancement of progressive cannabis policy reform elsewhere. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the leading vertically integrated cannabis operators in the U.S., now with a total of 35 dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 10 processing facilities operating in 12 states. Headquartered in Massachusetts, Curaleaf now has a large operational footprint in states like Florida, New York, Arizona, Oregon, and even up here in my corner of the country in Maine. Curaleaf knows that with such a large operation, it has a responsibility to make sure its customers get all the right education they need on the best practices of medical cannabis use. Curaleaf also pours a lot of time and energy into its R&D program, all the better to be able to develop and deploy new medical cannabis products. You can benefit from Curaleaf's focus on education and furthering its understanding of medical marijuana by first opening up curaleaf.com to learn more about this quickly growing company, with Curaleaf spelled Curaleaf. That's curaleaf.com. Thanks again to Curaleaf for supporting today's news. All right, time for the Blitz. Marijuana Business Daily's chart of the week shows the impressive hauls seen in Massachusetts' nascent legal adult use industry, which has seen the sales figures crest $2 million in each of the first 4 weeks it was operational, even though there are just 2 shops open in the state. Between November 20th, when those first 2 adult use stores opened, and December 16th, just over $9 million in sales were made to Massachusetts adult use shoppers. Swing over to Marijuana Business Daily for all the helpful background and context on this, including details for the handful of new dispensaries set to open up in the state. More than 70 medical marijuana dispensaries in Michigan closed their doors at the turn of the year because they have not yet been able to secure licensing from the state. We've covered this long-running storyline for the better part of a year as Michigan's cannabis officials shifted a number of times a deadline for businesses to get licensed, even as it slow-rolled the process of issuing those licenses. Michigan has one of the larger registered medical marijuana populations in the nation, so the loss of so many dispensaries is sure to have major impacts on patient access, to say nothing of those affected dispensary workers and owners. Alan Brochstein over New Cannabis Ventures has a few stories up that look at the decline seen in the share price of cannabis-related stocks in the month of December. Notably, Allen's Global Cannabis Stock Index, which tracks a total of 61 marijuana stocks, dropped just over 20% in December. Open up Allen's story for charts and links and more stocky numbers on that. Returning up to my neck of the woods here in Maine, we have a story of disgusting hypocrisy featuring, as you might have guessed, our disgusting outgoing Governor Paul LePage, a noted bigot and racist authoritarian who just a few years ago said in a public meeting, quote, "These are guys with the name D-Money, Smoothie, Shifty, these types of guys. They come up from Connecticut and New York. They come up here, they sell their heroin, they go back home. Incidentally, half the time they impregnate a young white girl before they leave," unquote. Apparently, LePage does not have a problem with in-state drug dealers, at least if they are fellow white Republican lawmakers, because the Portland Press Herald is reporting that Governor LePage, whose last day in office is thankfully today, just pardoned former state Republican Representative Jeffrey Pierce for a 35-year-old felony drug trafficking conviction, which will conveniently help the former state rep in a current case where he's accused of using firearms to hunt even though he's a felon. Bruce Kennedy over at Leafly has a good roundup looking at the first 5 years of Colorado's pioneering foray into legal adult use marijuana. 5 years ago this week, Colorado threw off the last remaining shackles of cannabis prohibition and allowed, for the first time in contemporary history, the sale of legal cannabis to non-medical users. There are a lot of valuable bits in this one, so I'd suggest you read it in full. But one of the more striking top-of-the-line numbers is the $883 million in tax revenue that's been realized by the state of Colorado since 2014, which does not include December's contributions. An adult use marijuana dispensary in Nevada finished out December and 2018 in grand style by selling an $11,000 gold leaf wrapped cannabis cigar, also known as a Cannagar. The 24-gram Cannagar was sold at the New Woo Cannabis Marketplace to a LA restaurant owner who ordered it up 3 months ago after seeing a similar Cannagar sold last summer. And finally for today, Civilized has a funny story about the Michigan State Police, which has decided to keep spelling the word marijuana with an H instead of a J, as just about everyone in the English-speaking world now does. Michigan state officials have dabbled with spelling marijuana with an H, but officially adopted the conventional spelling just recently following November's successful adult use ballot measure. Not so much with the Michigan State Police, which says that it will continue to spell marijuana M-A-R-I-H-U-A-N-A, marijuana. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Curaleaf, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.